Hello, this is Tracy Payton. We're going to be covering the EmbroidMe Vision system, and we're going to be taking a look at the customer database where you can enter your customers as well as any vendors that you might need to add into the system. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this training module. What you'll see right now is I'm on the dashboard of the EmbroidMe Vision system. And this module, this training module, is going to focus on this drop down called Contacts. And the toolbar is up here across the top, the navigation bar. And we're going to go to Contacts. And if you click on Contacts, you'll see that you have customers, vendors, and you can create a new. So if I go into the customers, this is where I will see a listing of all the customers that I've entered into my system. And I am on the training version, so there is some test data in here. However, if I highlight Affinity Express, you'll see over here to the right side, you'll see some company information, company details. So you'll see Affinity Express, you'll see the telephone, fax, and email. You'll also see some additional contact information. So those are contacts for Affinity Express, and you can add as many contacts in as you need to. All these blue links are hot links, so you can go right in here and email Jerry Brook. So if I click on that email, it will pull up the email, and I could send something to him. So we'll cancel that. Also, if I had Skype, I could actually place a phone call if it was set up that way. Again, I have all these other links under the contacts as well. And there's a customer activity link. And if I click on this, it actually is going to open up the customer activity, and you'll see any calendar events that have happened for this customer. You'll see the projects for this customer, any quotes, sales orders, invoices, and files. And these files are uploaded against the project. So when you create a new project and you're in the project record, you have that ability to upload files to that project. Those files are ultimately pulled into the customer record so you can see all files pertaining to that customer. So we'll go ahead and close that. So this is just an overview. So you have your customers over here to the left. Once you've highlighted a customer, you can see their company details and activity over to the right. There are ways in which you can search for a customer. You can come up here and search a customer by name. So if I wanted to do ABC League, it would pull up anything with ABC. I also can take a look and search by account number, by telephone number, city, state, or zip. So when I'm in this customer database, I have this drop down, and I can search any of these features or areas of the customer. I also can go ahead and I can select whether I want to search for a customer or a prospect. So you have that ability to open up a prospect database. These would be anyone that you do not have a sales order existing on the system or a work in progress. So anyone that you might have just done a presentation or a quote, you can have those in your prospect database. And again, to sort through that, you can just select customer or prospect, and you will see who's in that actual database. Now, if you have ceased trading or account on hold, these little icons will appear within that customer record. You also have the ability to check this box up here in the top right to look at those customers that you have currently ceased trading with. Maybe that account is in a problematic status and you've ceased trading at this point in time. So you can pull up those by just checking that box. So that's the customer overview, and again, I access that through contacts and customers. The same thing goes if I go into contacts and vendors, I will see a complete database of my vendors. And your vendors are marked with various icons. You can see those up here. Your preferred vendors, gold, silver, bronze, are preferred, and those will show up within your customer database before the vendor name. So you can see, for instance, here's a preferred customer. Alpha Shirt is a gold customer. And just like or gold vendor. So if, just like the customer, I can highlight this, and over to the right, I can see the company details. So I can see the vendor information, the telephone number, the fax, the email, so if I need to email. I also can come out here and pull up their website. And this is nice because if I need to check any type of inventory, I have that hot link out to their website, and I could log in my information on their website. So we'll go ahead and close that. So again, these blue links are just hot links out to either an email, a website, a phone number. You also have the additional contacts down here below with their email information. And just like the customer, you have activity for the vendor. And if I click on this link, this is going to pull up any calendar events that I've done with that vendor or supplier, projects where that vendor or supplier is included, purchase orders, and any files that have been sent to that vendor or supplier. So this is where that is kept. And then if I want to actually pull up an entire vendor record, I can click on either the name or the account number, and that will pull up this vendor record. And you can move through and make edits on each of these tabs. So the company info tab is the general information for that vendor. You have contact info where you can add in multiple contacts for that vendor, additional addresses. You have a marketing tab, a payment info tab, a notes tab for that vendor, an activities tab, again, where you can see your history, so any projects, purchase orders, and files, as well as a logo. And once you've made changes, you definitely want to come up here and save those changes if you did edit anything within the vendor record. So we'll go back in contacts. We looked at the customer, and now we looked at the vendor. And you have two options of ways of adding vendors into the system and adding customers into the system. The first way is just straightforward. Under contacts, you can create new. And when you create new, you're basically creating that first tab within the customer record. So you're going to select the customer. Now, if it was a vendor you were adding, you could check vendor. And once you add the customer, or check one of those, we're going to do a customer. We can type that information in there. And we'll say they're an active customer. The main phone number, we'll put that in there. And this is the main company phone number and the main company email address. As well as the website. And then over here you have the main address for that customer. And we'll select the city and state as well as the zip code. Now, so if you have a customer that you're adding and they have a main location, that's what you're going to enter here. Now, if they have different divisions or different locations based upon region, then you would add in multiple contacts with those different addresses, which we'll do here in just a moment. From this customer screen, you also have these marketing areas down here. And I do suggest that you watch the CRM video. But source is where you can tag on the customer how they became a customer. So if you did an email campaign or you met them at an expo, you can flag how did this particular customer become a customer of yours. It allows you to maintain or see where you're getting the best return on your investment as far as marketing campaigns that you're running, and then where you're getting the most customers. Status also allows you to check the status. So if we just want to say they're a standard account. Geography is pretty straightforward. You could say they're on the West Coast. An organization, again, we'll just put that they're a small business. And industry, we can select from the industry, and we'll just say that they're a art, music, entertainment. So we'll go ahead and save, and this will create the beginning of a customer record. And you'll see that when we looked at the vendor record, that the customer record looks very similar. So when you add in a customer, you're going to be filling out this first informational tab, which is the company info. And from here, once you hit save, then you can move through these additional tabs. So you can come over to contact info. You could add a new contact. Maybe there is John House, and he is at a different number. And has a different and what we could do is maybe he's the billing contact and he has a different address, so we'll go ahead and put a different address in here. He's 654 House Lane, but he's still in Anaheim, California, and then we'll go ahead and save. So what we've done is we've added an additional contact for this company, and you could add as many as you need to. Just hit the new contact up here. Additional addresses is done the same way, so you can add alternative addresses, but you'll see that we have the main address already put in here, and then we also have John's address. Marketing tabs, this is where you can select, again, that source, that status. This time you have the competitor, so if they have other competitors within your system, you can flag them against their competitors and run a report that says, show me all competitors of Schoolhouse Rock, and maybe you can send an advertisement or a promotion campaign to those competitors. So again, the marketing tab is just ways in which you can group your customers together. Geography, we already went through. You can select that. Organization, industry, we could select the industry. I think we had something selected here, so we'll go ahead and we had art, music, and entertainment. So we'll grab that. And then marketing tags, you can add in various groups, or you could put in the various products that this particular customer typically buys. Maybe they buy apparel, polo shirts, t-shirts, and so forth, pins, mugs. So you could put their buying trends in here. You can add those in, as well as maybe they're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So you have the ability to put marketing tags in here and then flag that particular customer with as many marketing tags that apply. So maybe they're a holiday order, they're a coupon order, and they're a child elementary school and a chamber member. So we flagged in a few different marketing tags there. We can pop over to the payment info tab. This allows you to put payment terms as well as define sales tax if it's anything different from the address, zip code, and state associated with that customer. So if they're a reseller, maybe they're exempt. So you can select from this drop down and select a different tax rate. You also have a notes tab where you can add a note. Again, this is a general customer note. So it pertains in whole to the customer. So maybe they get in quantity pricing. So you could put something like that in here. Activities is going to go back to that activities area that we looked at earlier. So you would see order history happening within this activities tab. So you'd see all the calendar events that have been put on with this customer, projects, quotes, orders, invoices, and any files. And then finally, you have the ability to put a logo up against a customer. Again, these logos need to be JPEG, GIF, or a PNG. And it's just for virtual sampling as well as documents being sent in and out of the system. So we can come up here and upload a logo. Choose a file from your computer. So if we go into the desktop, I'll just grab this one and upload that. Click on upload. And that'll bring that logo into that customer record. And then what I can do is just save the information that I've inputted there. So you can see now that we've added the Tracy's Schoolhouse Rock as a customer. So you have their information here. It's highlighted, and then you can see some company info over there to the right-hand side. It's given it an account number, but again, you can use this drop down and search your customers using the telephone, city, state, and zip as well. So now if I come into the customer record or the customer database, I have Tracy's Schoolhouse. I can just hit search by Tracy, tab. And it's going to pull up the various Tracy customers that I have, and here's the new one that we did add, which is Tracy's Schoolhouse Rock. So that's one way of adding a customer as well as a vendor. In review, you just come up here to contacts on the navigation toolbar and select create new and determine whether or not you're adding a vendor or a customer into your database. The second way, and probably a little bit more time-saving way of adding a customer, is when you create the project. So the other way in which you can add the customer is coming into the project area and hitting new project. And so if this is a customer that's walked into your store, you can easily add them on the fly. So you'll create the project first, because again, that's the first step of any type of order or presentation quote. The beginning of the sales cycle always starts with the project. So what I could do is, this might be t-shirts for music festival. And the status is a new project. We're going to do the in-hands date of the 30th. And then right here you have the type. So you could add a customer, prospect, or vendor at this time. And I want to add a customer. So I'm going to hit customer. I could either type the customer's name in. So we did Tracy's Schoolhouse Rock. I could select that customer. Oops. So we can grab that customer from the database that way. Or, as I mentioned, the way you can add a new customer is coming over here to this plus. So if a customer's just walked in, you could open the project, give it a subject, and then go ahead, select customer, and then add a customer on the fly. And so this will create the customer record both in your customer database as well as add this customer to the project that you're creating at the time. So we'll go ahead and close that. So you can add a customer just by hitting this plus button. They will be added to this project as well as into your customer database. The same thing goes, if I want to add a contact, I can hit the plus and add a new contact. So if I wanted to add another contact here, I could say Scott Payton, and I could give him a work phone number. And an email. Now this could be my primary contact, so if I want to flag Scott as the primary contact, I can do so. And I can also give him a different address. Maybe he's at a different location. and I can hit save, and now he's going to be added as a contact in that customer record, as well as he's now in this drop down. So I have John and I have Scott now. Now it will default to Scott because I did list him as the primary contact. And then what you can do is just move through the project by coming over to this next button and completing the next step that you want to accomplish in the cycle. So maybe you want to create a quote, an order, or a presentation. Okay, so 2 ways again, coming over, we'll go ahead and create a presentation and then just close out. Okay, so in review, 2 ways in which you can look at that customer or add that customer. Coming over here to contacts, create new, and choosing a customer or a vendor and filling out the information. Or coming into a project, adding a new project, and then adding a customer using this plus button. So if I go back to conclude, I'll go back into that customer database. We can see and look for, search for Tracy's Schoolhouse Rock again. So hit Tracy, hit go, pull up Schoolhouse Rock. If I click on the name of the customer or the account, it will open up that customer record that we went through before. But now if I go into contacts, I did add that Scott, and now you'll see him there. So just to show you, anything that you do from that new project screen, once you save that, it does update the customer record as well. So that concludes adding customers or adding vendors to your EmbroidMe Vision system. There are additional training videos that we do ask you to watch as a supplement to this particular training module, and those are adding in CRM features, which are found on that marketing tab. So it's editing these various drop downs and customizing them for your particular system. So we do ask that you watch that video and complete the post test that is associated with this training module. Thank you so much.